Such a pleasure to be here celebrating the Code for Canada launch with all of you. And I want to share with you all a couple of lessons that I've learned about the fellowship the last couple of years as a fellow and as the former program manager at Code for America. I found that it doesn't really matter the city, the year, the fellows, or as it turns out, the country. There are some key challenges that all fellowship teams face and some key components to the success and impact of the fellowship. And the first one that jumps out is stakeholder management. Some of the toughest challenges that my team faced in Australia were not actually technical, but relationship-based. Our success often hinged on the relationships that we had built with different teams within the department, and the way that we moved forward was great communication and strong navigation from our government partners who helped us figure out how to manage the hierarchy that existed within government and work with teams to move forward. Team dynamics makes or breaks a fellowship team. Even though fellows are bringing 5, 10, even more years of experience to a team, the autonomous structure, coupled with that complex set of government relationships, can make it really difficult for teams to figure out what cooperation and collaboration means to them. And those are key to determining the decision-making process within a fellowship team. One of the more surprising aspects of the fellowship, I think, is that most alumni fellows will tell you that only about 30% of the fellowship is spent coding or building software. And that's because the other 70% of time, fellows are working with different teams within their department to deeply understand the challenges that that government department faces every day. They're digging into data sets to understand where gaps exist or to better define the scope of their work. They're on the front lines with people who interact with citizens every day, paper prototyping, simple solutions that work for everyone. When I got to Australia and I was working with Victoria Legal Aid, everybody wanted to talk about artificial intelligence and robot lawyers and chatbots, and these were really exciting conversations to have about new and emerging technologies. But a reality that still existed in that government department was that there was inconsistent and incomplete data around clients that were coming in through their call center, which is one of the #1 ways people enter the legal aid services. And one of the first projects that we built with the team there was a way to help admins automate the way they were sending text message reminders to clients when they had an appointment with legal aid lawyers. Text message automation technology is not very exciting, it's not new, it's not sexy. But it saved those admins 80% of the time they were spending doing that task, and that was time they were able to refocus on clients in different ways. The way that we talk about this work is really, really important. As fellows, it's so crucial that we're able to talk honestly and openly about the challenges that we observe and face in our government departments. And this is tricky because this is not typically the way government likes to talk about the way they do work. But what's also really important is that we highlight the successes that we have, the solutions that we're building, the approach that we're taking, and how we measure that success along the way. And so speaking of success, I do want to highlight how this fellowship program is successful, and there are some key players in the room today that all play a part in that success. To the journalists in particular, I hope you remember that this is kind of a big deal. The fellowship is an experiment, and government doesn't usually work in experiments. I'm sure you're all better at it in Canada than we are in the States, but this is very exciting nonetheless. And there's an opportunity here, and you are uniquely positioned as journalists to highlight the nuances of this work, the challenges that are faced, and the solutions that occur. To the technologists, particularly those that are interested in being fellows, this opportunity is first and foremost about problem solving. If the idea of coming into work every day and facing a brand new set of challenges is something that excites you and you're able to walk in the door every day, open to having your assumptions challenged, this is the job for you. It will be incredibly rewarding and potentially career altering. And to the government partners, you are absolutely key to the success of your fellowship team. It's vital that you begin with trust in your team, and there's so much that you can do to prepare your department for fellows coming in starting now. There were many times where many people in the department thought as fellows we were students or interns. It was tough to gain access to things. And if you can start building those relationships with different people at all levels of the department now, your fellowship team will be more successful and you'll see that success even faster. And I just want to give everybody a quick snapshot of what the impact of this program can look like. This is what Code for America, or just a bit of what Code for America has achieved in the last 6 years. And there are dozens of cities here and hundreds of fellows that represent, and projects that represent the great work that fellows accomplished. And these projects listed at the bottom here are not just about new technology and government, they also represent hundreds of thousands of dollars saved on technology. How millions of people's lives have been impacted when they experience government digital services. They also represent changes in procurement policies so that government can continue to look at new technology long after the fellowship. And the hundreds of fellows that have come through the fellowship also represent the continuing change in perception of government, as many of them continue to work in government long after the fellowship. Thank you very much. Congratulations to Code for Canada, and good luck to all of you as you take the fellowship plunge.